Yeah?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be barbecuing. So we're gonna prep a bunch of stuff down here in my apartment, and then we're gonna take it upstairs to the patio and use my folks' barbecue to do our watermelon roast. I can't wait for you to try it because this is another one of Gaz Oakley's recipes and it's very different. And I think you'll enjoy trying it. So the first thing I want to do is I've got a big bowl of veggies here. I've got some little peppers, some onions, some potatoes that I've chopped. I've got some zucchini that I've cut into big chunks, and I have some sweet potatoes. And I just want to give them a drizzle because I don't want to wait for them the whole time on the barbecue. I'm gonna start them in the oven while we're down here doing our other stuff. So I've got some olive oil in this brown bottle. It's really important to keep your olive oil in a bottle that doesn't let the light in. So what I do is when I buy that warehouse package of olive oil is I pour it into my bottle and I put the rest in the fridge so that it turns solid in there, but it'll stay fresher longer because there's nothing worse than that smell of olive oil when it's off. So I've got the oven heating to 350. Just gonna put some salt and pepper on these. And then I've got a pan with some parchment paper on it for easy cleanup. I'm gonna give these a quick toss. The only other thing that I would add to this that I don't have is some garlic cloves. So again, we're gonna start these in the oven just so they take less time on the barbecue. Then we can prep our watermelon. I decided on this one. I like the size of it. I know once I clean all the rind and everything off, it's gonna be a nice hefty size. It will shrink a little bit, and it's seedless. So we're basically going to roast it and it will change consistency. In the oven when it'll dehydrate a little bit. So the first thing I want to do when I'm cutting something round is make it not round. So there, now it'll sit nice and still while I go around the edges. So I kind of just do the big bits. I can come back and clean up. So just be careful, get all that rind off. This has got a nice thin rind. There's not much white pith in there, which I appreciate. I'm gonna cut this end off. Have a quick check. Parts on there I'm not really happy with. So I'm not gonna, let me get a paring knife here. Just clean those up a little. Sure, a peeler would work just as well if you chose. So once you've got it nice and clean of the rind. There you go. You're gonna salt this and you're gonna bake it for at least 90 minutes at about 375. Sometimes if you've got a really juicy watermelon, you might want to leave it in there for a little bit longer. And then once it's done in the oven, you're gonna take it out and marinate it. So I'll clean this up because I have one ready for you. And then, oh, all my stuff is moved. Put that in my composting bowl. And there's the oven up to temperature for the veg. So here are the ingredients for our marinade, and we're just gonna pop all this into a blender. There's 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a couple of green onions or scallions, about a tablespoon of lime zest. This is 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, a few cloves of garlic. The recipe asked for mushroom powder, but what I have is miso paste, so I use that instead. I have some balsamic vinegar, about 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Tahini, about 2 teaspoons of tahini. About a tablespoon of tomato paste. So when I'm not using my tomato paste, I will put it in a little container like this, throw it into the freezer, and then I can take it out when I'm working on something and just scoop out what I need and put it back in the freezer. The juice of 1 lemon or lime, and a bit of cilantro. That all goes into the blender, and then when your watermelon is finished in the oven, you'll remove it from the oven and put the marinade right on top of it. So here's one that I've roasted, and it's been sitting in the marinade for a few hours now, and it's ready to go on the barbecue. Now I have to tell you, once it comes out of the oven, it's squishy. And the worst thing about this recipe is just how much it looks like meat. So if you're really have a problem with meat, you might not enjoy this quite so much. So I've just been kind of rolling it over, and if you look at it, it just looks like a beef roast in here. I've stuffed a couple of garlic cloves inside the roast so that we get that garlicky flavor really deep. So I've got those slits, and then this is gonna barbecue right up. Another good idea is I've seen some people do tuna recipes with the watermelon, and that looks really good, except I'm not a very big fish fan, so I wasn't all that interested. So that's basically done until we take it upstairs to the barbecue. And then again, another thing I love about being vegan is I can use what's in that bowl as my marinade because it hasn't got any raw meat in it. Right? Typically you would be all concerned about that, and I don't have to be because it's not meat. So, also, we are going to do some Mexican corn ribs. Now, I think this is a fantastic idea. We'll just have to see how it tastes.
You're gonna give a shout out to the Instagram account you stole it from?
It was Flora Plant, but I didn't get the recipe from them. I just got the idea from them because I couldn't find their recipe. Do we want to say that? So I do buy a vegan mayonnaise, mayo style spread. Now, you're gonna think, oh my God, it's off. There's something wrong with her mayo, but it's not, because I find it has no flavor, or not much flavor. I'm sorry, people who made this, but it does not have much flavor. So I put in about 1/4 of a cup of balsamic vinegar, and I stir that into my plant-based mayo, and it goes on my sandwiches, goes with all my veggies. It's awesome. So this is my plant-based mayo with some balsamic vinegar. What have I done? Oh, sorry. So I have taken a cob of corn. I've taken a cob of corn and I've cut it in half. What is that? Horizontally. And then I've cut it into 4 pieces vertically, making these corn ribs, which I think is a spectacular idea. What a nice way to eat a cob of corn. So now I'm gonna add some ingredients to make it more of a Mexican style, and then we'll pop them on a barbecue tray and we'll take them upstairs to the barbecue. So I want some mayo, which again is my doctored mayo. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, about a teaspoon of some lime zest, I have some chili powder that I'm gonna add, and then I typically like 2 cumins to each chili powder. So I like the cumin better than I like the chili, but the chili's got to be there just to give it that bit. Then we'll chop, after they've been on the barbecue, we will chop them up and add some, what do you call that stuff? Coriander? Oh, you're worried I'm gonna get all messy?
Nope.
Oh.
Shot first, mess later.
Okay. All right, so there. Everything looks good and covered. This is only gonna take a few minutes on the barbecue. It smells fantastic. I cook with my nose. How about you? Do you have to taste everything?
Yes.
That smells so good. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna add one more thing. Just cause I can. And I would typically juice a lime, but I think I have a little bit left in here. Look. Just gonna give that a bit of a squirt. There we go. Because I have these fabulous barbecue trays that I found. I'm gonna put it onto another tray for carrying upstairs so it doesn't leak all over the folks' house. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. And there we go. Oh yeah, it smells good and limey now. Perfect. I'm slicing, concentrating on using my knife. So it's very squishy and kind of, the texture is completely changed. The smell is extraordinary. And this is what we will be having for dinner. There's nothing about that says watermelon anymore. That's quite nice. I would put that on a sandwich. And the corn, I'm very excited to try the corn. That's a really nice way to eat it, on the little ribs. It's got that barbecue char on it. Very tasty. I highly recommend you try these recipes. Good.
That's going in.
Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
Want to try a piece?
Like on film?
Yeah.
Of?